And hello everyone, welcome to this week's video tutorial, and this will be the first spot in chapter 7 of Grandmaster Ronghhua's Sandwich Horse Treatise. So without further ado, let us start the game. Central Cannon, Sandwich Horse Defense, and in this chapter you'll focus on red using the Ranked Chariot to attack instead of the Foul Chariot. Now this is one of the earlier ways of attacking by red. The main idea behind red's Ranked Chariot will be to move the chariot to the red file here to limit the efficiency of this cannon, so that once the red chariot is moved here, red can develop both horses as proper horses. Sorry, R1 equals to 4. And black would usually take the opportunity to develop his left chariot as a foul chariot, and as mentioned earlier, red would be able to develop both horses as proper horses and most probably attack from the central file. Black would usually move an advisor as a prophylactic measure, and this would be the position of discussion in the first board. With the Ranked Chariot, proper horses, red will continue his attack with the riverbank cannon variation. So at this point in time, there are three variations that are discussed. The first variation will be R8 plus 4, whereby black could develop his left foul chariot as a riverbank chariot. The second variation will be P7 plus 1. This would prevent red from playing R8 equals to 3, and the last variation will be black playing P3 plus 1. So this is a rather complicated and long board, and let us not waste our time. In the first variation, R8 plus 4 was played, and since black moved his chariot, red will continue to attack with CD equals to 3, and this would threaten to checkmate if black moved the horse away. So at this point in time, there are two variations that were discussed, two sub-variations, sorry. The first would be I equals to 7, and the second would be retreating the horse. Now this move would not be a good idea, because red would take the opportunity to move the other chariot, and black would still lag behind in the development of his pieces. As can be seen, black had wasted one move, two moves to move this horse to this not very desirable position, and he would still have to fortify his defenses. So h7 minus 9, or retreating the horse to the edge file in this manner, would not be considered an option. So, but to protect the horse, black would choose to move his chariot in the same line. Now this would also be an awkward situation for black. Red will continue to develop his other chariot, and red would choose to be aggressive with R8 plus 6 for the pawn rank chariot. This move would be better than h3 minus 1, because although h3 minus 1 would allow red to play h1 plus 2 on the next move, black would simply retreat his horse. So if red played this move, black could play r7 equals to 8 and attack the horse. The black horse will still be protecting the elephant, and the awkward positioning of the red horse will be an issue for red to deal with later on in the game. So although the idea is novel, it's interesting, but it's not advisable at this point in time. So red should be aggressive with I plus 6, and black would have to fortify his central file, and this will be the time when red will start attacking the central file by pushing the central pawn forward. This move would be to threaten to play p3 plus 1 to attack the red chariot in the next move, but red would be able to push the central pawn in the nick of time, so that black would not be able to move or advance his pawn now. So because of the poor positioning, black will be forced to trade horses, and although the pawn is sacrificed, red will be able to develop his right horse and allow it to attack in such an early stage in the game. So as can be seen, red would have a significant advantage, whereby red will be prepared to sacrifice his horse to capture the central elephant for the check, and this would be but one of the options available. So red would have a significant advantage, and black would still have a cramped position with not many spaces or not many good options for attack. So this would be the first variation, whereby black would choose to play r8 equals to 4, ignoring the threat of the riverbank cannon. In the second variation, black would choose to play p7 plus 1 as a prophylactic measure against red's c8 equals to 3. So since the cannon cannot attack this horse at this point in time, red would choose to attack the other horse. So usually black would defend in this manner, e3 plus 5. Now one might wonder, would e7 plus 5 be an alternative? Let us see. In the book, these were the moves that were given. So at this point in time, although black was able to push both his pawns, his third and seventh pawns forward, his right chariot will now be relatively undeveloped and lack a lot in the development of the pieces. So because e7 plus 5 was played instead of e3 plus 5, black would now be unable to play r1 equals to 4 to develop his chariot. So red will have an advantage in this situation. So that is why e7 plus 5 would not be a good idea, because the development of the right chariot will be an issue. So e3 plus 5 is advocated, so that r1 equals to 4 will be a possibility. Now red will continue to attack with r8 plus 6 in the main variation given. Would it be a good idea for red to advance his central pawn so that he could attack with the linked central horses? It would not be a good idea, because in the book, black would chase the cannon away, and the red cannon will now be in a dilemma. If it moved away, it would be a loss of tempo, but if red captured the horse, black would now be threatening to push the pawn forward to capture the red horse. So red will usually have to answer in this manner. Black will continue to defend. And both the red horses will be pinned by the black chariot. So black would have an easier time ahead. Now the reason for playing p3 plus c3 plus 1 will now be obvious, because the red pawn will not be able to advance, and there will be not much that red can do at this point in time. And the red chariot will also lag behind in development, because you will not have many good intersections to move along in this file. So let us backtrack a little bit. After protecting after advancing, black would protect the cannon in this manner. So would it be a good idea for red to charge the central pawn forward? and black would have seized the initiative from red, because at this point in time black would have defended his pawn rank very nicely. The red horse would not have any good places to move, and black would be threatening to play r8 equals to 4 at this point. So black's formation will now be very viable. There will be many options for black to continue with. So instead of p5 plus 1, p3 plus 1 was also studied as mentioned earlier. So judging from these two sub-variations, it would not be a good idea for red to attack with p5 plus 1 earlier on. That is why it would be a better option for red to attack with the pawn rank chariot at this point in time. So black will continue with p3 plus 1, trade material, and red will continue with his attack on this from the central file. Now e3 plus 5 was played because, as can be seen in the sub-variation earlier, if h7 plus 5 were played, once the chariot moved here, the chariot will be able to pin both horses and greatly slow down the attack of red. So h3 plus 5 will not be will be a better option in this situation. So capture the pawn, and red cannot afford to be greedy by playing p7 plus 5. If p7 plus 5 were played, for example, if p5 plus if p7 plus 1 were played, red would attack with c4 plus 5, and this would and red will be in deep trouble because material will be lost. So that is why it would not be a good idea to attack with p7 plus 1 at this point in time, and red should continue attacking with p5 plus 1. So, and red will finally manage to have a central cannon, but at this point in time black can be satisfied with this outcome. The power or the threat of the pell corner cannon, black's pell corner cannon, cannot be underappreciated at all times. So at this point in time, red will have trouble trying to deal with the situation of the red horse, because the red horse will not have any good place to move, and black would be threatening to capture the horse and then the red cannon. So this will be a short introduction to the second variation. As mentioned earlier, after c8 plus 2, the third variation that was discussed was p3 plus 1. Red would continue to attack the horse in this manner, and black would choose to retreat his horse to the edge file. Now this would be better than playing or defending the horse with r8 plus 2, because if black were to do so, red would continue his attack from the other flank. And as can be seen, black will still have a lot of space to move, and red will have a lot of space to move, but black will still have a cramped position to play. So red will have the advantage in terms of material and space. In terms of space. So defending the horse would not be a good idea in this manner. Red will also develop his left chariot, and I plus 6 should be played at this point in time. Black should not play p7 plus 1, because this would be a wrong order of the moves. If p7 plus 1 were played, the cannon will move away, and red will be given a chance to adjust his formation and not lose any tempo in the process. The riverbank cannon will still be a major threat. Hence, black should play r8 plus 6 for the pawn rank chariot and discourage red from attacking with the central pawn. So how should red react at this point? p5 plus 1 will be advocated because c3 plus 6 would not be a good idea at this point. If this were played, black will continue with r8 equals to 7, and red will be forced to retreat his cannon for the 5-6 cannons formation. And both at this point in time, both the red horses would have trouble developing, and red would have seized the initiative because black had made too many moves with the cannon. So c3 plus 6 would not be a good idea, and p5 plus 1 will be advocated. Now when p5 plus 1 was played, black should play p7 plus 1 and not I equals to 7, because if I equals to 7 were played, the cannon will be very versatile and would attack the edge horse, forcing the horse to move, and this will be when red will continue to attack the central file, and black will be able to counter with the central cannon. And at this point in time, red will be threatening to retreat his cannon to attack and capture the black chariot. So as can be seen, black would now be in a dilemma, because if it moved away, red would be able to attack with his horse, with the central horse. So p7 plus 1 should be correct. So a little bit short review. Black should play r8 plus 6 followed by p7 plus 1, and once black were able to do so, red will be in deep trouble. So red will try to attack the edge horse, p5 plus 1. Now would it be a good idea for red to move h7 plus 5 at this point? No, because black would simply choose to capture the red cannon, because it would not have any good place to move. If c1 equals to 4 played, red will lose his chariot instead. So that is why red must play p5 plus 1, so to allow the riverbank cannon some safe intersections to move to. And one of the best ways of countering an enemy who is attacking with a central cannon along the central file will be to counter with a central cannon of your own. So at this point in time, can red capture the black central pawn? No, because black will be able to play c2 plus 2, so the central cannon will be in danger, and the only move that it can make will be c5 minus 1. But if c5 minus 1 were played, the cannon would be not protected, and the two cannons would actually get the two red cannons would actually get in the way of each other, and black would have a very nice formation to continue into mid game. So it would not be a good idea to capture the black central pawn at this point. So red will continue to attack with this manner, and black would have seized the initiative from red. So at this point in time, black would have a very nice formation or structure or whatever of his pieces going into the mid game phase. So as a short review, in the first part of chapter 7, red will attack with the Ranked Chariot, and Chapter 7 will deal with the Ranked Chariot, and in the first spot, red will attack with the riverbank cannon variation. There are three major variations. This will not be a very good idea. In variation 1, P7 plus 1 will offer a slightly better chance, but perhaps for black the best move would be P3 plus 1. So I hope you have enjoyed this week's video, and I'll try to do more in the near future. And Merry Christmas, because today would be Christmas Eve. So if you like my videos, please subscribe, and I thank you for your support.